Good evening. I'm going to give it a few minutes as always. I can see people starting to come into the group. We'll give it a couple of minutes. I've got quite a lot to show you tonight. So, yeah, how are we all doing? Hey, Helen. Hi, Laurie. So, yeah, I'm seeing you coming in thick and fast now. Hi, Pamela. Hey, Jan. Hi, Stampers Grove. So we will have our retailers will be here in the group, and they will post links to their stores. So if you're looking for any of the products that you see tonight, you'll be able to find them on their website. So do have a look. Hey, Joe. Yeah, it was lovely to meet you too, Joe. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Marianne. So as I said, I do like to, hey Leandra, I do like to give it a couple of minutes and just give people a chance to get into the group before I start. So I'm seeing lots of you joining in now. Excellent. Excuse me if I'm looking at two screens. They're working, it's the same every time. They work at two completely different speeds. So it's a little bit off-putting because you can see yourself doing something that you did, 15 seconds ago. It's very strange. Hey, Jane. Hi, Helen. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Lisa. Hi, Jenny. So lots of you coming in now. As I said, I like to give it a few minutes and just give people a chance to get into the group before I start showing you what I've got. I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to show you the stamps and stencils. I've got 3 stamp sets tonight. I've got 3 stencils, and I've also got 4 new paint colours. So that's very exciting. So what I will do, the same as I usually do, I will show you the stamps, show you the stencils, show you the paint colours, and then I'll show you the samples afterwards and talk you through what I've done. I just find it's much easier to do it that way, because I do tend to cross over on my samples. So much easier to do it that way than it is to try and show a sample with stamp set 1, a sample with stamp set 2, etc. So I hope we're okay. Yeah, as I said, so any of the retailers that are on and watching, if you can pop your links into the feed and say where you're from, because obviously if you say where you're from, that way people that are in your area or in your country can find you and can be directed straight to your store. Right, I think, well, I'm going to give it, no, do you know what? Let's get started. I've got quite a lot to show. I say it every time. I don't want to keep you all night, but hold on a sec. I'm just going to lift this up. I think, let me just lift that just slightly. I feel like you're sinking down again. I had this happen once before, I think. Right, okay, so tonight I've got 3 stamp sets, I've got 3 stencils, and there's 4 new paint colours. So I think we'll go with the paint colours first. We'll go with the paint colours, and then we'll do stamps, then we'll do stencils, and then we'll go into all the samples that I've got to show you. Okay, so I have 4 new paint colours. Okay, so 4 new paint colours. These are my new paint colours. They're beautiful. They're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I have 4 new paint colours. I've already been using these, you can see. Okay, and these all work really, really well with all of my existing colours. Hey, Michelle. So my first one, I have a grey, and it's called Zinc. Okay, so zinc, it's a really lovely grey. It's got a little bit of a blue undertone. It's going to work really well with, my favourite grey is, well, it's a grey blue. It's steel grey. Now, I love steel grey. This is going to work perfectly with steel grey. So zinc is the first one. Okay, so zinc, that is a grey colour. It's a really beautiful grey colour. Then I have, so there's always going to be some sort of turquoise blue in there, of course. So I have Coastal. So Coastal is a, it's a muted, it's kind of a dusty turquoise kind of colour. One of my favourite colours in the existing sets, not my sets, but the general sets, is Bora Bora, and I use that one quite a lot. And I wanted something similar, but I wanted something that had more of a blue undertone. Bora Bora tends to have a little bit more of a green undertone, so this one has got more of a blue undertone to it. It is beautiful, and I will show you obviously the paint swatches that I've done. So the next one is Peach Fuzz. So Peach Fuzz. So yeah, I haven't got any peachy colours. I've got lots of oranges, but I've got no peaches. So I really needed to have a nice peach to go with some of the existing colours that I've got. So Peach Fuzz is the third one. And then the fourth one is Watermelon. So Watermelon is my fourth paint colour. Now, three of these, Watermelon is a semi-opaque paint colour, but it is quite on the opaque side, you know, so different paints react different ways. It is still quite on the opaque side. It is a semi-opaque. And the other three are all opaque paints. So if you follow me, you know, because my colours are so bright, because my existing colours are so bright, lots of them tend to be translucents or semi-opaques and quite on the translucent side, which obviously is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We like the bright colours because it's pure pigments. But these ones are going to be a real game changer because they're on the opaque, they're more on the opaque side. You know, I do have several paint colours which are on the opaque side, but most of mine, because they are so bright, are on the translucent side. So I will show you what I've done with those. I've done a few things. I did one sample, which I will show you obviously, but I did one sample. Hey Natalie. I did one sample where I actually teamed these four colours with Seth's new four colours, and they work beautifully together. So if you've seen Seth's, and Seth's are a bit more on the, I think he's gone for heritage colours this time. But they actually work really well with my colours, which I was really surprised at. So yeah, brilliant. So they're going to work with those two. So let's get cracking with the stamps. So stamp sets, my first stamp set is TS099. So TS099. Okay. So this one is the doll accessories. So if you have any of my doll stamps, okay, I have 3 doll stamps. I will show you them. I have 3 doll stamps, okay. These will work with all of them. They will work with all of them. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you've... most of my samples, I'm going to say, most of my samples tonight I've done with the geisha, because I originally did design these to go with the geisha stamp, which is stamp set 93. However, they fit the other 2 girls. Pretty much everything. I had a little play tonight just to double check, because there was a couple of things I was worried about. I did have a little check, and I will show you. They work. with all of the girls. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you've got set 17, which was out, I'm going back 5-6 years. These will work with that set, which means you can get that set back out again. And if you haven't got that set and you want it, Paper Artsy don't, they don't discontinue. And because they don't discontinue, it means if you haven't got the original dolls, you can still get them. Okay, so perfect for me, perfect for you. Okay, so hey Carol. So that is the first one, TS099. Okay. Second one, TS100. 100 people. Can you believe that I now have 100 stamp sets? 100 stamp sets. I'm blown away. I thought Leandra was just being nice to me when she asked me to design the first set. So to be 100 in, and countless countless minis and stencils, etc., is unbelievable. So yeah, stamp set TS100, and that is the dragonfly. You might notice that this dragonfly has got a very similar pattern to, I can't remember what the number is. I have a butterfly which has got the same pattern, and I cannot remember what the number is, and I didn't take it out. I thought I was being really organised today. Obviously not as organised as I thought. Ah, well, I'll find it. Anyway, so the patterning on the dragonfly is pretty much the same patterning that is on that butterfly set. It's a doodle butterfly. It's got some swirls on it. It's got some flowers. I'm not sure, Leandra. I did look it up, and I have completely forgotten which one it is now. I will find it. I'll find out. But this will coordinate everything that's on there. We've got the loopy flowers, we've got some centres, there's a little ladybug, there's a little bumblebee at the bottom, and we've got the dragonfly. As always, 81, Leandra's saying. 81, let me see if I can find it now she said that. 79, 80, is it there? There it is. Well done, Leandra. 81. Okay, so TS81, you can see it's got very similar patterning going on. So it coordinates perfectly with 81, and the extras on both stamp sets are going to coordinate together. Okay, so that means that, if you've already got 81, you can use some of the additional stamps, etc., the butterfly, with the new stamp 100, and the same the other way round. Okay, so that's TS100. I'll put these so that I can show you at the end. And the last stamp set for tonight is TS101. So TS101, bear with me, this camera keeps falling. I think we had this once before, and it was trying to look at my cleavage, if I remember rightly. So TS101 is another set of Egyptian stamps. So this has been on my list for quite a long time. And it kind of made sense to do it now. It kind of made sense. Oh, I have to look for that, Ginny. I'll have to look for that. So we have my cat. So this is Myro, the Egyptian cat. We also have, there's some more hieroglyphics down the side that obviously can be used in the background. We've got a scarab beetle, we have an Egyptian flower, and we have the extra set of wings. Don't be fooled thinking that, there's only one way you can use this stamp set. There are plenty of ways you can use this stamp set, and it will also coordinate with the older Egyptian set, which I believe is TS, TS60. So TS60 will coordinate perfectly with this. One of the samples that I'm going to show you, you will see where I have used them both together. So I will, obviously I'll show you that one. So this is TS101. So this is the Egyptian set. I'm trying to do things at the moment which will coordinate with existing stamps and existing stencils, so that we can all get more use out of what we already own. Yeah, that's exactly, I can see what you're doing, Michelle, because I do exactly the same when I get my stamps. So I'm trying to be able to coordinate back to my existing stuff, so that we can get more use out of it. You know, stamps, craft, you know, craft is a disposable income. You want to be able to use your stuff as much as possible, and that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. So first stencil, PS474. So 474 is kind of funky flowers. There's some dots in there, and if you've not already gone to the blog, you might be thinking, well, what's that all about? It's a bit weird. You've got these kind of blobby things here. This one was designed to go with, let me grab it, I'm going to grab it now. This one was designed to go with my existing stamp set. So this is an old one. This is an old stamp set. It's designed to go with TS024. And I will show you obviously samples of how that's been used, but set 24. So we're going back a good sort of six years, I would say. A good 5-6 years. Okay, so it coordinates with this. Of course it can be used on its own, and I have used it on its own in some samples, but it was designed to go with set number 24. This is one of my favorite flowers that I've ever done, one of my favorites, but I tend to only use it in the background because it tends it's difficult to colour. There's a lot going on with it. You know, there's lots of lines going on because it's, you know, it's scribbly. So the idea was that this one will help me to colour this. Okay, so we'll put that to one side. So that is PS474. That is the funky flowers. So next we've got PS475. So 475, I'm just going to move, I don't know what's going on today. I'm going to move this light because it's shining directly on the stencil. There we go. So PS475, sorry, is the circles. So we can never have enough circles, can we? We love a circle. And these ones are fantastic for putting in a background, whether it be on a card, a journal page, you know, it really doesn't matter. Circles, circles, circles. We're always going to be able to find some use for those. And I did have, I had another circle stencil back in the day, but it has got different patterns on. I also had a larger stencil with this pattern on. So they are going to coordinate together as well. So, you know, again, we can go back to, yes, Ingrid, all of Paper Artsy stamp sets are always available. So I did give the retailers a head up that was what that stencil was for, that it was for TS024. So some retailers might already have it in stock. If they do not have it in stock, they can order. So Paper Artsy were given the heads up as well that obviously this was a coordinating stamp. So they never discontinue. You can always get the older stamps and stencils. Okay, so don't worry about that. If you don't have it, you can get it. Okay, and the last one for today is PS476. So PS476 is the half mandala. So we've got the half mandala. It's designed that it can be turned into a full mandala by flipping it. And you've also got these extra pieces on the side which can be used on their own, but they can also be used to extend this out. So it means that you can create, you know, a mandala that is easily would fit a 12 by 12 page. You can even go bigger than that. You know, these are quite big elements that kind of feed around. So if you imagine this stencil is 9 inches long, or just over 9. So just by adding one of these all the way round, you're going to be looking at a 12 inch mandala. Okay. So let's have a look. Never try and stamp. Yeah, Scrapbook Centrale was saying that they got TS24 back in stock specially, and I know that a lot of the other online retailers have as well. So, so that's that. So we've got the four new paint colours, and then we've got 3 stamps, 3 stencils. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight in. Paint colour swatches. Let's do those first. We'll do the paint colour swatches, and then we can... Oh, look. What is going on? It does not want to sit there, does it? Okay. So, paint colour swatches, because obviously they don't look the same in the bottle as they do when you see them. So, this one... So, this is zinc. So, you can see it's a really nice opaque... light grey with a blue undertone to it. Okay, really, really nice colour. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. Then we have Coastal. I will show you pictures of these all together as well. So then we have Coastal. Coastal is a real nice dusty teal turquoise blue. Really, really pretty. Then we have Peach Fuzz. So Peach Fuzz, really nice subdued peach. Again, an opaque colour. Watermelon is the only one that is a semi-opaque, but it gives really good coverage. So, and this one is the watermelon. Okay. So this is the 4 colours together. Let's put them together. This is the 4 colours together, so you can see they are really, really pretty colours, and they do lend themselves to be able to add my brighter colours in with them. So what I did, I wasn't gonna sit and paint swatches for all of my colours, although I really should do. But I did pick out a few of my favourites just to show you what they look like with these colours. So these look really, really pretty. They are definitely Florida colours, Michelle, definitely. So they are really pretty colours. Okay, but, hey Alison, but what if, right, so I'm just gonna go in. So what if I add into that, butternut and prawn? So butternut and prawn, how lovely. And it instantly, for me, they make the colours look brighter. They make them stand out. So they are really, really cool colours. They go really nice. Obviously, I wasn't gonna sit here and do every single colour because you don't have time for every colour. I talk enough as it is. And then I picked out these 2. So I picked out Bermuda and I picked out Cerulean to go with the Coastal. So you can see zinc, Bermuda, Coastal and Cerulean. Cerulean, you know, is one of my all-time favourites. I love Bermuda. But it just, you know, so if you wanted to do tonal, they're going to work really well. And what if... So what if then, let's just go in really quickly, and I'm going to pick these all up together. I'm just going to put them in an order because they really, it's amazing how they really make all the colours pop when you add some of those bright colours in there. So this is the 8 together. How amazing do they look together? You know, and that's without going into my slimed, you know, my, I've got slimed, I've got banana, I've got tangerine, I've got parakeet, the purples. There are so many, many different, you know, different combinations. But I just wanted to pick out a few colours just to show you that even though, you know, these are more muted tones, they go so well with the existing colours and they really make those colours pop. Oh, yes, I'll have to do that, won't I? So what Leandra's saying is to download a colour wheel and do some colour mixing, which means that you're going to get bespoke colours as well. So, yeah, really, really pleased with those. Really pleased. I've already used them a fair bit. I've already started using them a fair bit. I taught a class on Saturday and we used those in class on Saturday, and they were, and people used variations. So Leandra's saying there is a colour wheel available in the group files, so the Paper Artsy People group files. So, right, let's see. So I'm going to do, I've got so much to show, I don't know which way to start. So I'm going to do these ones first because these kind of make sense. These were some colour swatches that I did, and I did some embossed stenciling over the top. So you can see again, so these are the 4 colours. Okay, so we've got zinc, we have peach fuzz, we've got coastal, and we've got watermelon. Okay, and I added some embossing. So the embossing that I added onto this, I used stencil 476. So I used the mandala stencil, but I used it in a different way on each piece, just to show you that it doesn't have to be a mandala. Of course it can be a mandala, it doesn't have to be. So you can see on this one I used a polished silver embossing powder. I just used one of those extra shapes to add. How amazing does that look with the grey, with the zinc? It looks really beautiful. So we've got that one. Then we had this one. So this one, this is the peach fuzz, and the peach fuzz I went in with gold embossing powder. So gold embossing powder, and I went in and used the mandala and partial mandala. Just, you know, let's do something different. Let's play around. Let's just see what it can do. You know, so that one. So that is the peach fuzz, and that is with the mandala stencil 476. Okay, next one. So this is the coastal. So coastal I have used with my embossing powder. So this is the Peacoat embossing powder from Wow. It was my it's a glitter embossing powder. It works really lovely with the coastal. I hope you can kind of see that. Kind of glowing, little bit of sparkle. We like a little bit of sparkle. And I will, obviously I'll do something with these. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet, but you know. And then I did this one. So this one is watermelon. So watermelon, I have actually put some flowers on there from the Dragonfly set, but you can see, so this one, I have used both of those additional shapes. So I've just used both of those additional shapes from the mandala set and created a pattern, and I've done that with gold embossing powder. Okay, so very cool, very cool. And the embossing powders just look beautiful against the paint colours, so really, really pleased with those. So let's show this one. So this is another sample that I did with the mandala stencil. So this one, yeah, they would be really nice Really nice cards. So this is another one that I did with the mandala stencil. So this one I used it as a template and I cut out. It was, I'm going to say it was fairly easy to cut. If you have done cut pages before, you will find it fairly easy to cut. Okay, so this was my sample I did. So this is 12 by 12. And I cut out, and I'm hoping you can see this. So what I did was, oh, let me hold it at the top. It's going to be a bit easier to turn. So I kind of did, I wanted to do a rainbow. In behind, I did a cut page. And we can move it around. We can get that colour moving. Okay? And you can see I used the polished silver embossing on the background. So we've got polished silver embossing, and that is I think it's the large, yeah, it's the large flower. So it's the large flower from the Dragonfly set. And you can see it doesn't matter, because of the way it's designed and the loopy flowers, it works really, really nicely in a background. You know, whether that be, you know, embossed or whether that just be stamped, it's going to work really well in a background because those loops can overlap. You know, you haven't got to worry about trying to line anything up. Okay, so, and you can see around, so these are the flowers. We've got the little ladybug. We've got the ladybugs around the outside. They look really cool. We've got the little flowers. We've got the centres. So I did some extra centres so that we could change up our flowers and do something different with them. And I've also got this flower in the background. Okay, so I've got this big flower in the background, and this one is made with the dragonfly wings. So I've just used the dragonfly wings, cut them up, cut them apart, and put them together. Okay, so as I said, and this is 12 by 12, so you can see that it really does work well, that mandala, on a larger page. And I've not even, so the mandala that I've cut on here, I've not even used the extra pieces around the outside. And you can see it pretty fills a 12 by 12 sheet. Okay, so that works really well. I'm going to drop these on the floor while I'm showing you samples. All right, let's show you this one. So you would have seen this before. I have shown this before because this was done with one of my previous release stencils. This is my accordion, so it's an accordion journal, and I used the stencil to doodle, so it was one of my previous release flower stencils. But what I thought was, so you can kind of see I've kind of gone through, and then I was like, well, what about that loopy? What about the loopy stamp set? Would it work as a doodle in a you know, in a black and white way? So it works perfectly. How cool does that look? So I used the 3 stamps, stamped it directly onto my page, and then added my black pen. How amazing. And it just goes so well with the previous stenciling that I did. So another way to use it as a doodle rather than using it as a background. I really love this, and I really enjoyed doing this as well, because it's, you know, it's very relaxing to just sit with a pen. Just sit with a pen and you don't have to do much else. So I'm throwing things on the floor and they're all bouncing around. Okay, let's go there. Okay, so I said to you about, I'm just going to I'm going to show you quickly. So I said about 474 going with, so 474 was made to go with TS24. You can use it separately. I will show you some samples where I've just used it as a background stencil. It works perfectly as a background stencil, but it was designed specifically to go with this one. I will do a demo. I think I'm gonna try to make a little project using these ones, and I think that's what I'm going to do for my live demo on the 4th. I've got a live demo on the 4th of August. So next week. Ooh, yeah, next week. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to come up with a little project, and we'll make a little project using these. Okay, so I've got this to show you. I've literally just stenciled and stamped just to show you. I have got it in a project as well, but I want to show you this just so that you can see what it does, what the idea is. So I'm just going to hold this up. So 4 of the stamps. So the stamps which are scribbly, the scribbly stamps, that's what they're designed for. The others, there's another 3 stamps on that stamp set, but they are more background stamps. They're very solid, so I didn't need to do anything for those. But the ones that are scribbly, you can see the idea is they can be layered up. So they can be layered, one on top of the other. You do not even have to worry about lining them up properly. Okay, you don't have to get hung up on, oh, is that the right way? Is it the wrong way? It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know, as long, and it doesn't even matter if the stamp, it's been done so that the stamp lines up, but it really doesn't matter if it doesn't. Because of the nature of what the stamp set is. So you can kind of see, this is what it looks like. The 3, so I did the 3 shapes, stenciled one on top of the other. Okay, and then this one, I did the same thing, and then I added the stamp. Okay, so this is what it looks without, and this is what it looks with. So you can see it's got some really, it just means that you can add some really nice, you know, make your own collage fodder out of it. You know, you could, I did this with, so I did these with distress inks, but you could also, so I put the distress inks down first and then I stamped on top, but you could also, with your matints, you could stamp first. So you could stamp it first, and then you could go in with your matints and your stencils over the top and build up your colour, okay? Because obviously the matints are completely transparent, so you could go in first. Definitely, yeah. I think it looks nicer when it's not 100% lined up. So you really don't have to get hung up on it. And what I did, so with these two, what I did was, this was the one that I stenciled. This was the one where I stamped it the right way. You can kind of see this has got like a pointy bit at the bottom. This has got a pointy bit at the bottom. So I stamped it the right way. Okay. And then this one, I've just flipped it round and I stamped it a different way. And you can see it really doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So I pretty much, if you see, this is the point that I lined up and the point is there, but I lined it up there, and you can see it really makes no difference. The same with the one underneath, it makes no difference because of the nature of the stamp and what it's like. It just works. And the same with the bottom. So you've got these, which are fantastic. These are fantastic in the background. These are fantastic in the background. These are fantastic in the background. And then, so you can have them as a background stencil, but then you can stamp over and you get a different look altogether. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this quick. I literally did this about, I don't know, 20 minutes before we went live, because I just thought it was the easiest way to show you what I was trying to get at. Okay, so that is for TS 24, and that is stencil 474. So it's 474. Okay, let me put that there. Right, where are we going to go next? What are we going to do next? Okay. So let's go with, let's go with this. So, as I said, I've got 3 girl stamps. Okay, so my oldest one is TS017. So TS017 is probably about 5-6 years old. It's quite an old one. It was the first girl stamp that I did. And it'd be nice to be able to take it back out again and use it again. So, and I have used this, I've still used this fairly recently. You know, it was certainly within the last probably 18 months I used it for a project. So TS017 is my oldest doll stamp. And then I had TS083. So TS083, this is probably a couple of years old now, I would say. 18 months, couple of years. So we have that one. That one is slightly larger. So I was a little bit concerned that maybe the stamps wouldn't work with that one, but they do. And then my newest one is TS093. So TS093 is the geisha. Now, you've seen me alter this stamp before anyway, and that was without using any accessory stamps. Okay, so I'd already kind of played around with the idea of altering the stamps anyway. So I just did this very quickly. Again, I did this about 10 minutes. I've got samples to show you, but I did this about 10 minutes before we went live, because I wanted to show pretty much all of my samples that I'm going to show you are done with the geisha. And that was purely because that was the one that was on my desk and I needed to get cracking, and I just got cracking. So, but I want to show you that they do work with the other stamps as well. I will do some more samples using the other stamps, but I haven't yet. So what I did was, just very simply, I stamped the 3 dolls. So these are my 3 dolls, and I just cut out a few pieces. I stamped and cut them out just so that I could show you the main pieces. Okay, so the main pieces, let me just show you this again. The main pieces on that set are the masquerade mask, you've got the bow, you've got the flower garland, and you've got the 2 pairs of glasses. They're the ones, if anything, you kind of need to be able to fit. You've also got, so you've got a bunny ear. So this one is a bunny ear. This one is a cat ear. You've also got a stamp in there, which is the whiskers, so that we can stamp some whiskers. You have got a little, there's a little nose, there's a little cat nose. I haven't actually used it yet. I'm thinking it will, the cat nose itself, I'm thinking will work best on the larger doll. I did kind of cut it out and placed it, and I kind of felt like it was a little bit too big for the geisha, but it will work well with the stamp set 83. Stamp set 83. And then we've also got this one, which is like a little, it's like a little feather. It's a little gem and a little feather. I thought that would be really cool as an earring or something like that. So lots of different ideas. I have got samples to show you with that. But I just wanted to show you just quickly that, so these are my 3 dolls. Let's grab, so let me just grab, I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So let me grab, this is the masquerade mask. So masquerade mask, it fits her. Okay, we can see that. It fits her. It fits her. Okay, and let's move it over there. It also fits her. Okay, and you don't have to use this as a masquerade mask. I've got samples where I've actually cut it apart. So it fits all 3 dolls. The same with the glasses. So these can be glasses or they can be sunglasses. You colour the centres in black, they can be sunglasses. So they fit her. They're oversized glasses on her. They will fit her. And they will fit her. So you can see they will fit all three, okay? Same with the other glasses. So we've got the little round glasses. And again, you can colour these in black to make them sunglasses, or you can cut them out to make them reading glasses. So they fit her. They also fit her. And they also fit her. Okay, so perfect. The bow, so the bow could be, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be on her dress, it could be in her hair, it could be in her hair, it could be in her hair. They all fit. And then the last one is the flowers, so it can go in her hair, it will fit in her hair, it will also fit in her hair. You could flip it around. So you could flip it around. You could have it on the dress. On the dress. You could have it on the dress. You know, what can I say? So I just wanted to show you that very quickly. And I will take photos of this as well and put it into my group. Just so that you can see that they can be used on all three dolls. Okay, they can be used on all three. You don't have to use them just for the geisha, because all of the samples that I'm going to show you, I used on the geisha doll. So just so that you're aware. Let me move these out of the way. I'll grab those in a second. Yeah, right. Let me show you those first. So I played around with the geisha stamp. I did. So I like to play around with black and white. So black and white images, just so that I don't have to spend lots of time colouring in and seeing what I can do with these stamps. So I did a couple which I've coloured, and I will show you those. And then I did these ones as well. So you've already seen this one. Okay, you would have seen this one before. When I originally made this sample, I hand cut the glasses. The difference now is, obviously, I'm going to show you it again because you don't need to hand cut the glasses anymore. You can obviously use them from the accessories set. So this is the geisha. So this is the geisha, and she's been altered with her glasses. As I said, when I actually made this one originally, I did hand cut the glasses, and that was what gave me the idea to make this set in the first place. That was what actually gave me the idea to do it. So that was last year. This time last year, I had the idea that I wanted to do an accessories set. So obviously you will be able to do those now with the actual set. Okay, you can use those. Let's drop that one down. I also did, so I did this one, this funky girl. Let me, I'll tell you what I need to do. I was going to say, I just need something to put it up against because she hasn't got a page to go on yet. She's not got a page. So I'm trying to kind of show you, she's a funky girl. So you can see what I've done on this one is I've given her sunglasses. So, oh, look, let me, I'm just going to hold her up. That's not going to work, is it? She's just going to keep flipping down. So you can see I've given her sunglasses. So I basically coloured them in. I've given her sunglasses. She has some little feather earrings. So she's got some feather earrings. She has a bow in her hair. And what I did was, instead of using the masquerade mask, I cut out just the swirls, and I added them to her head. And then what I did was, I used the swirls to give her some funky shoulder pads. So she's got some funky shoulder pads going on. And then use the flowers to add some detail to her dress. You can see I stamped the swirls on there as well, just to give it some detail. But she's a cool mama. She's a cool mama. So I did her. She needs a page. I need to make a page for her, but I haven't had a chance to do it yet. Okay, and I did this one. So I did her, and she's very cool too. She is my ladybug girl. Okay, so she is my ladybug. She's very pretty. So what I did with this one, you can see I've got the bow in the hair. I've got some of the swirls from the masquerade mask. I've used 2 of the swirls. I've layered and I've used 2 of the swirls to create wings. So I've given her some wings. The black spots on her wings are the glasses. So she's got, you know, I've cut those apart and used those. So the mask that she's got, her little ladybug mask, is done from the masquerade mask. So I've literally cut off the swirls, which obviously I've used for the wings, and I've given her some funky glasses with the little ladybugs on from the dragonfly set. And as I said, so these are from the glasses, so they're from the round glasses. You've also got there from the round glasses in the middle. You can also see I've made some little flowers. I've made some flowers from the bows. So the flowers on her dress are from the bows. And I've also cut apart the bow to give her a funky collar. So she's got a nice collar. I think she's really cool. She needs a page to herself as well. She's very, very cool. So I kind of want you to see that you don't have to use your stamps, you know, as they are originally intended. You know, cut things up, cut them apart. So I also did this. So this is just black and white because I wanted to do as many as possible when I was kind of running out of time. So I did this just to play around. So just to play around. So these are all done with the geisha. And apart from, I did cheat just slightly, in that you will see here, she has some wings. And here, these are also the wings from the Egyptian set. So I did kind of cheat just slightly. So I gave her some wings, which were from the Egyptian set. And I also made the wings into a ruffled collar for my pirate girl. So you can see she has her little round earrings. She has her feather in her ear. I just used one of the glass lens and made it into her pirate patch. Use the bow. This is the inside of the, so it's the inside of the round glasses. And these 2 pieces are the insides of the masquerade mask. Okay. You can see the gem on her necklace, that is from the feather, the hanging feather, the gem and feather. So it's just cut apart. And like I said, these are the wings. Okay. So you can see we've got the bow, we've got the sunglasses. Now these ones, so if you look at this bow, so you can see I've used that swirl. It makes a really nice, you know, topper for a dress or something like that. But what you might not have noticed is these, for her bow, are the cat ears. So these are the cat ears and the little gem stuck together to make the little bow for her dress. Now I used alcohol markers, Ingrid, to colour the girls, and some coloured pencils on the face. So yeah, so this bow is made from the cat ears. So it doesn't have to be cat ears. Who says it has to be cat ears? Okay. And then you can see, so on the next one, I'm just going to move over. so you can see. So this one was a little bit, I had lots of like little offcuts kind of sitting on the desk. She does look very different, Sally. You really can change them up to make them look very, very different. So you can see on here, I've kept her glasses so that they are actual glasses. She has some feather earrings, some gem feather earrings. She's got the flowers on her hair. I also I had an offcut. And when I say offcut, this was kind of hacked to pieces. This was from the masquerade mask, and I'd kind of hacked pieces out of it to pieces. But it just looked really cool behind her head. So that's where it ended up. Also got, so this is one of the lenses from the round glasses, and the little flower is from the flower wreath, from the little flower wreath. So let's go to the next one. So the next one, you can see this is the masquerade mask. So the masquerade mask, I've cut out the eyes. I've used the little earrings as little dangles. So we've got that as little dangles going on. Part of the masquerade mask is on her dress as like a collar. And on here, I've used the gem. And this is the cat ears. And this is the bunny ears, and I've literally just turned them the other way, cut out the little pieces, turn them the other way and use them as a bow. So use them to do a bow. Okay, so you can look at things in a completely different way. So this girl, let me move back round again. So this girl, this is the bunny. She's got the bunny ears. I used part of the the flower wreath. She's got the bunny ears in her hair. She's very funky. She's got some sunglasses, some round sunglasses. She has got some wings, because why not? And again, her bow on her dress is made from those cat ears with the little gem in the middle. So she's really cool. And then the last one, she's got the cat ears. She's got the masquerade mask glasses, and then I just had, these were offcuts from here that I just put on the corners of her glasses just to, you know, make them a little bit more interesting. You can see I've got the bow and the flower, and the little leaves are also offcuts from here. So these were the ones that I've done so far. I'm sure if you sat down and played and looked at your other stamps and things that you can bring in, things that you can bring into it, like what else could you bring in that you could use to change her up even more? Okay, so, you know, these are 6. I gave you another 2, another 3. Yeah, so lots and lots you can do. Lots you can do. Okay, so that's that one. But what else can you do? Okay, so you've got the accessories. Okay, you've got the accessories set, and it's great. And we can change our dolls, and we can make them look very, very different, which is going to be great. Because if you imagine, you've got the 3 doll sets, and I've done 9 variations with one set. So how many can you know, and it is endless. The amount that you can do is endless. So how many can you come up with? It's a challenge. How many can you come up with? So, okay, so you can, obviously, you can do all those variations. What else can you do? What else can you do with those stamps? Okay, I have done a whole page, and I'm sure I can come up with more. In fact, I know I can come up with more. But I have done a whole page that is nothing like this. Nothing like it, okay? Let's see what else we can do. How about this? So how about this? I have done a 12 by 12 sheet. 12 by 12. So this is quite big. and it is all different flowers. All different flowers, all different variations of flowers. So let's come in, let's have a look. What have we got? These are all... These are... Oh, I was worried then. Am I still there? I think my computer's playing up. I think my phone's still okay though. So all different kinds of flowers made from those pieces in that set. So, you know, those little, the little flower cluster. So this one I did 3, I think. So that's 3 of those flower clusters. Yeah, I think it's just my laptop. Yeah, so this is 3 of the little flower clusters. And then I did another one just to show you that you can do bigger. You can go bigger again. So this is with 6. I did 6 flower clusters. That's actually quite wide. That's quite a big piece. Okay. And then all the bits in between. So I've taken, you know, I've taken the bunny ears and made a flower. You've got the bunny ears here and you've got the bow. You've got the cat ears and one of the little flowers. Again, you've got the cat ears and the little gem. We've got the bunny ears. We have the feathers. We've got the glasses. We've got the bows. We've got the bows. We've got the, you know, you can see, you can kind of get it. There's lots and lots of different things that you can do. So do not, you know, don't restrict yourself to what it originally looks like. Okay, because that's not necessarily what you can do with your stamps. Look at your stamps in a different way. I will post pictures of these because I know that these are not on the blog because I was working on these after. So I will make sure that I put photos of these onto the group to make sure that you can refer back to them. And I will probably do, I did a video a couple of weeks ago, I think. I did a video on this one of how to. I did a how-to video. You know, let's take a look at. I think I'm going to do one with some of these as well, with some of the new ones. I'll do one and I'll get it up onto YouTube. So, next, let's see. I've got a couple more black and white samples and then I'll go into the journal and I'll show you what I've got in the journal. Oh, Leandra's saying send pictures of them to her and she will add them to the blog post so that they will be there, which is brilliant. I will do that. I'll get that done. So let's go with the Egypt set. So TS 101. So 101, again, I've taken to doing these black and white pages, because I can just play around and see what I can do with the stamps. See, you know, see what happens. So you can see what I've done here is I've used all those elements. You can see I've got, so this is the original stamp. So you've got Myro and he's got his wings and he's sitting there. He's very proud. He's very regal. Let me bring that in. He's very cool. I ended up, I was working on something else. So anyway, I ended up with just the head. So I put that in there. Why not? If that head could sit inside that frame, maybe. It might be cool. You don't need to have the whole thing. But I also did this one. So this is Myro, but he's not got any wings. So that looks really, really cool. And then I switched it up and I changed his wings. I did double wings, but I did the angel wings that were at the bottom of the set. So there was, yeah, definitely, Michelle. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. So I did the double wings and gave him those instead. So you've got 1, 2, 3 completely different looks. You can also use just part of him. You know, you could cut out just his head and shoulders, and that could be in a little frame. somewhere would work really well. So I've also done as well, you've got the scarab beetle. So we've got the scarab beetle with the wings. I'm calling these angel wings. They're not really angel wings, but you kind of get. So we've got the scarab beetle with the wings. Then if we go down, we've also got the scarab beetle with the cat wings. So we've added the cat wings to that. So that's really cool. We've also got, so the flower I've turned into a bow. So here, again, you can see that's the little gem from the other set. This could then be added to one of the girls. We could add it to one of the girls and use that. You know, I used some of the wings, but we could use this as a bow. I also did, you can see I did a flower. So I did a 4-petal flower from the flower. So you had the single stem flower, and I've done a 4-petal. I also did I did like an arch, like an arch frame. So, and that was basically turning the wings. So you can see I've turned the wings upside down, and I've used one of the flowers to create an arch. Okay. I've also got this one, which is a frame. So I'm thinking that would look good, you know, maybe he could sit, head and shoulders could sit inside there. But you could also do something like that, and then you could have a quote inside. You know, I've done this just as a frame, just as an open frame, but you could have, you could stamp words in there, stamp a quote in there. It would work really, really well. So that's really cool. The other thing I did, so if you look at this little flower, so this little flower in here is from the scarab beetle. So it is, if you look at this, it is the scarab beetle's wings. So I've used the scarab beetle's wings, made it into a flower. This was from the dragonfly set, the small flower from the dragonfly set. And then the frame that I've got going around the outside, you can see, is made from that one. Let's just bring that up just so you can see. It's made from that one flower. Okay, so we've got that one flower, and we've made it into this big frame. And that's, I mean, that's quite a wide frame. I think, I want to say, so that's 5.5 inches in diameter, that frame. And of course, with that, you could actually make it bigger. You could make it bigger than that. Yes, he would look, yes, Alison, he would look quite cool. So Alison's saying add some fangs and some wings and he would make a really cute bat. Yes, he would. I was thinking about changing him up, altering him up as a Halloween bat or a Halloween cat. So that would actually be a really cool idea. So yeah, so you can do that with it. It doesn't have to be, you know, change it up, make it something else. That's what I like to do with all of mine. Need to be able to do other things. Right, I've got one more black and white, and then we'll go into the journal, and then we'll be almost there. We're nearly done. Okay, so my last black and white to show you is with the dragonfly. So with the dragonfly set. So this is my last black and white one. And you can see we've got a lot going on this one. We've done lots and lots of different things. You know, it doesn't have to be just what it says on the tin. Okay, so you can see this is my original dragonfly. So that is the original dragonfly. He's very cute. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But he can also be cut down to look like this, which is very cool. So now we've got two different bugs. We've got two different dragonflies going on. Okay. We can also cut him right down. We can cut him right down to this. A little winged bug. How cool is that? Little winged bug. And what about this one? So this one, I've cut extra wings and I've made him into more of a butterfly. So how cool would that be on a page with the other butterfly? So then we would have two butterflies going on. Okay, so so I've done that. I've also, so what I did here was cut it away and then added, so these are the loops from the large loopy flower. So large loopy flower, cut it apart, and I've made another bug. So on that set, without even trying, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different bugs from that one, you know, from that one stamp. We've got 4 that primarily just use that stamp, and then the 5th one is adding in those loopy flowers. And then what I've done, you can see I've got all different flowers going on, all different variations. This one is done with the, so this one is done with the dragonfly wings. The large one at the bottom, this one is done with the dragonfly wings. You can see I've used the centres. And then I've kind of just layered, I've just layered everything up. Let's just see what we can do, how many different looks we can get. You know, and I scratched the surface. There's lots more that you can do with those. And obviously I'd already done this larger one. I'd done that on that sample, the mandala sample that I showed you. So that is that. Okay, let's put these to one side. Onto the journal. So this is the projects that I got done, the actual colour projects. Now, the first one I'm going to show you, sometimes I just know that a particular stamp is going to enhance a project that I've already done. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one first, just because I'd stamped the dragonfly, I'd coloured the dragonfly, and then he was just sitting on the table, and he sat on the table until I think last night. And I thought I need to use him for something. I need to use him from something. And then as I was going through my journal, I just found the perfect page. I just knew that it would enhance the page and it was where he needed to go. So, first journal sample. So you've seen this before. I've done it before. All I have done, so I did this page before. I already did this. This was with previous release. But what I did was I have added, I'm going to bring him in just so you can see him. I have added, and he's got double wings. I've done 2 so that he really kind of stands out. But I'd already coloured him in rainbow colours, and it kind of made sense. It kind of made sense that he needed somewhere to live. So I did add him to that. So obviously that for me was an easy project because I'd already done the project. It was just a case of, right, where is he going to go? He needs to go somewhere. And he just looks really cute. There we go. Look at him. He looks lovely. He's a cutie, and he works perfectly with the size of the project as well. He works really well. So let's see, what have we got next? So my next one. So I showed the sample, or I've showed the samples, a couple of samples, where I've made different flowers with that and with the dragonfly wings. So I did this page, okay? I did this page. So this one, I've got vase. You can see I've got the circle stencils are in the background. You can see I've added some nice gold embossing to that. You can see some white. You can see the dragonfly wings. So I've got the dragonfly wings. I've got the bunny ears. I've got the cat ears, and I've got the little gems. So I've got those. And then here we've got the loopy flower. We've got the cat ears again. The little gemstone. And the background is done. So the background has got Seth's new Admiral colour. So it's Seth's Admiral. It's got Coastal in the background. And I believe, let me double check. And it's got Cerulean in the black background as well. And there is a better picture of this on the blog, the actual background, just the background. So you can see it a little bit, you can see it a little bit clearer. You can see it's really, really pretty, really stands out. And it just goes to show, you know, those were not flower stamps. I've made a flower page in a vase at, you know, out of stamps that weren't flowers. So, you know, do look at what you've got. Look at what you've got. And see, you know, see how you can use it differently. Kind of bear with me because I'm just going through my journal and finding where stuff is. Okay, so next one. So this one, I've used the dragonfly. I've used quite a few stamps in this one actually, and quite a few stencils. So right, let me bring it up first of all. So this is my flamingo page. Okay, so flamingo, you can see I've got the mandala embossed in gold in the background. You can also see in the background, if I bring that in, you can also see I've used that funky stencil. But I've used it just as a background stencil. I'm just going to get in a little bit closer. So you can see in the background, I've got that funky stencil. That's the little funky circles. And that's the stencil that goes, yeah, the stamp and the stencil that go together, but I've not used them together. I've used them separately, okay? So you can kind of see, again, I've used that stencil in the background, and I've layered the stencil up in the background, the funky flowers. So I've layered it up into the background, okay? But you can see I've used it just as a stencil. I've not used it with the stamp at all until I've got to these. So for my focal flowers, I've then used them together. So I've used the stencil to get the colour down, then I've stamped, then I've cut out, and that gives me my focal flowers. Okay, and then I've got the dragonflies in there. He needed to go in there somewhere. And the same at the top, we've got those flowers from set 24 to create the headdress. This one's not quite finished. I've got a couple of bits to do. Going to be teaching this one soon down in All Hallows in Kent. So, but I've got a little bit more to work on. But you can see, so I've used quite a lot on this one. But he's very, very cool. We've got a little bit of everything going on there. As I said, he's not quite finished, but, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Right, let's see. Okay, so Egyptian. Again, this one's not quite finished. I've had about 5 projects going all at the same time. I've kind of been working on more than one thing at a time. So this is my Egyptian project. Again, not quite finished. Not quite finished. We're getting there. I've got a little bit more to do. Not too much, but I've got a little bit more to do. So, again, this is the geisha. So this is the geisha girl. And this stamp, so this one is from the previous set 60. So from set 60, the Egyptian stamps. I've also used, you can see her headdress is made with the flower from the new set. Okay. And then you can see the other part of her dress. The other part of her dress is made from Myro's wings. And we've given that as part of her dress. Okay. I cut out the cross, the flower, and then he's sitting there proudly at her feet. And then we've got the hieroglyphs on her dress. And I'm hoping you can kind of see, I've got some tone-on-tone stamping of the scarab beetle in the background. So again, you know, I've used that stamp. I've used the, you know, used the geisha, and she is something else. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 10 different geishas. I've used that geisha 10 times tonight in the samples, 10 times. And in not one of those samples does she look like geisha. You wouldn't think so. Okay, I've got 2 more to show. So 2 more. So this one is kind of 99% finished. I just need to do a little bit more. I was working on this today. So this one I did today. This is using the Dragonfly. And you can see I've mixed and matched with older stamps as well. So this is the background. I posted this background in my group probably, it was a couple of weeks ago now. And I'd created a background, but it wasn't in my normal colours. It was in different colours. And I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I had a nice background, but I didn't really know what I was going to do. So what I did was I added some more stamping. So these are the little flower centres from the Dragonfly set. So, but I've used them, if you see, I've used them in the background. They work really nicely as a background stamp. You stamp them together. And they go really nice with the previous stamp sets. So, and then you can see I've cut down the Dragonfly. So I cut down the Dragonfly. He's a little bit smaller in this one. And then I've got the flowers layered up on this one. She's very cool. She's very cool. And I love the colours. I love the contrast of the oranges against the blues. Looks really cool. Okay. Last one, I think. Last sample. Is it the last one? Let me just double check. I believe it is. Yes. So this one is the one that I did where I used a mix of my new colours and I used Seth's new colours. So I used all 8. So I used all 8 new colours on this one. And it's a double page. So this is my double page. This is my double page. So this is, you can see, I've got all of the colours in there. So you've got, if you come down to this corner, we've got Seth's Admiral, we've got his Castleton, we go into Coastal, so this is Coastal. We've then got, we've got Zinc. We then go into Pumice. We then go into Peach Fuzz. We're then going into, we're going into Watermelon. And then finally we go into Kiln, which was Seth's Red. So this is a double pager. You can see we've got, there's lots of flowers going on. We've got, you can see the white stenciling in the background is from that funky stencil. So it's from the funky stencil that goes with stamp set 24. So you can see I've just used it in the background as a stencil. I've not used it as, you know, to go with the stamps. Okay, I've got, this one looks stunning. This one looks stunning with the gold embossing. I've got some of the stamping in the background. And then we've got lots and lots and lots of flowers. Lots and lots of flowers. I didn't draw her, Rachel. I'm not going to pretend I did. She is a digi image. I did create her, but she is a digi image. She's not a drawing. I'm not that clever. Okay. So, and I taught this one. This weekend. Both that I taught it at the Forget Me Not Craft Cabin, and we also taught it at Luby Crafts as well this weekend. So you can see you can really mix and match, and those colours just work fantastic together. And as I said, Seth's colours work perfectly with them as well. So it doesn't just have to be, you know, if you I wouldn't normally consider that Seth's colours would be my colours, but they've worked really, really well on this page. They look absolutely beautiful. So that is it as far as samples go. I am literally just going to run through very, very quickly the product numbers again, and then we can go about our day. Okay, so 4 new paint colours. 4 new paint colours. Zinc. So zinc is the grey. So it's like I'll put it in this side so the light's not catching. So it's like it's got a blue undertone to it. It's a light grey. It's got a blue undertone to it. It is lovely. In fact, let me kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Makes sense if I'm going to show them to put the colour swatch up as well, doesn't it? So this is zinc. So zinc is the grey colour, the new grey. Then we have coastal. So coastal is the dusty turquoise. It's like a dusty turquoise colour. It is beautiful, beautiful. Love that. Then we have peach fuzz. So peach fuzz, nice peachy colour. It's quite subtle, but when you add it, with the other brighter colours, it just looks stunning. It looks absolutely stunning. So that is the peach fuzz. And then there's watermelon. And that is the watermelon. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful colours. Loving those, loving playing with them. And then we have, right, so stamp sets, TS099. So TS099 is the accessories. So it's the accessories set, TS099. Obviously accessories, but can be used to create flowers, lots of other things. Then we have TS100, so my 100th stamp set. And that is the dragonfly and loopy flowers. Dragonfly and loopy flowers, and that will also go with TS081, so you can mix and match. Then we have TS101. So TS101 is the Egyptian set. So we've got the Egyptian cat. That is my lovely Miro. This will also go with TS060, which is the previous Egyptian set. You can mix and match those together. And we've got stencils, PS474. So 474 is the funky flowers and dots. This one can be used on its own in your backgrounds, but it can also be used with my previous stamp set, TS024, which is the scribbly flowers. Okay, then we have PS475. So 475 is the circle stencils. Always going to be handy. You can use those for backgrounds. I'm thinking I could do this. I could colour this one in and do a whole page of roses. That would look really cool, I think, just coloured with colour pencils. So I might do that at some point when I can find time. So that is 475. And then the last one, which is PS476. So 476 is the half mandala. It's pretty much the same principle as 408 that I did, where you've got the half mandala. You can flip it round to create a full mandala. But what you can also do is add on, you can use the other pieces separately, but you can also add these on. You can stencil them on or draw them on, however you like, to make this bigger. So you can end up with a really large project. I could probably, you know, you could work on a larger canvas kind of size, or, you know, board, and you could really make a large project with that, because the possibilities are endless. You can just keep going. So thank you so much for joining me today. I tried to get through as quick as possible. What can I say? You know, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've given you lots and lots of ideas. I always worry that I've not got enough to show, always. So I hope I've given you plenty of ideas. I've still got lots of ideas written down for different things that I can be doing, and I'm going to try and do some more stuff, you know, over the next few weeks, try and get some bits and pieces done. So I should have more to show. Obviously, I will make sure that I'm posting stuff in the group, all photos. Go and check out the blog post. Those black and white samples, I will take photos of those. I'm going to send them over to Leandra, and she's going to add them to the blog post for me so that we know that it is there for the future. And I'm hoping to do a little YouTube video like I did before with the Dreamcatcher stamps, a kind of let's take a look at this, you know, these sets with the black and white samples. So, you know, I can show you how my process is and how, you know, how I think when I'm creating these samples to be able to use in a different way. So I will definitely get onto that. I'm going to be doing a live on, I'm going to be doing a live demo on the 4th of August. I believe it is at 7 p.m. UK time. I'm going to double check that, but I think it's at 7 p.m. I think I'm going to do something. I haven't 100% decided yet. I'm probably going to do something with set 24, but that might change when I kind of sit and have a look at it. So I will see you back then. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will let you go. I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.